Hello everyone, Kenty Tiger here with Bengali Engineering and Play. We are back in Space Engineers. We're continuing our refit of the Concorde. So what we did last episode was pretty much kind of take everything out of this, and not everything, but a lot of things out of this, so we could get ourselves in and start doing some rework. So I didn't eliminate all of the hydrogen capability here, which we will do in this particular episode. So let me get this may cause me some trouble here. No, good. Okay. I was afraid that I was going to create some problems here. So one of the things you can see, and I'm going to go ahead and just eliminate some of these batteries so I can see what I'm doing. We can put other batteries in underneath, in and around. So one of the problems was the Prosimian. So all of these conveyors that you can see here are the Prosimian armored blocks. I love these things. The folks there at Prosimian have done an incredible job. They are a bit, I want to say, CPU intensive because of all of these indicator lights, but the indicator lights actually are very helpful to you. So it's definitely not a bad thing. The problem is the way these things rotate. There's some rotation issues. And one of the things you see here is there's a lot of the, let me roll around here, you can see a lot of, well, now that I've pulled out the hydrogen tanks, there were quite a few of the thrusters that were not powered. Did not have a supply, and the reason for that is, as you can see here, these things rotated around the wrong way. So kind of an issue, and so one of the things that we are doing as we're working through here is actually fixing some of these problems. So one of the things I need to do is I don't think it really matters. What I was thinking about is adding in a generic hatch that would ultimately let me access these two guys, and I don't really think there's any reason to do that. So I'm not going to worry about it. What I am going to do is put more batteries in. So and the other side of the equation with these batteries is the batteries they added another mount point for this reactor. So if I change things underneath here, then which hopefully I won't have to do, because I think these two blocks are fine. Well, that one underneath there may not be fine, so we may still have some issues. Let me go ahead and put batteries under here. 1, 2, 3. All right. Yeah. So you see how a lot of these are not going where they're supposed to be going here. Those are not. All right. So, let's have a look. Okay, so we have an elbow here, which is actually what it is supposed to be. So this is feeding in here. This is a straight through. This was supposed to be connected on. So this is, I believe, my supply into the ship, which is a straight through there. All right, so let us go ahead and fix what's going on here. What I need to do, you can see these are two T's that are looped around. Don't know what they're doing. They're not going around the right way. Whatever was the intention. So as you can see, the assembler is connected onto this refinery. So let me go ahead and okay. Let's go ahead and remove these because I can potentially move these somewhere else, which will then give me a little bit more flexibility. Good, all that moved. All right. Some of the other things that I think we're going to do here. Battery. So I'm going to put a battery there, battery and battery. Why do I want so many batteries? I don't like having just space that is kind of not doing anything. I like having space being used for something. So, having said that, I like putting batteries in where we can potentially have some valuable use of space. So, batteries are heavier than armor, yes, that is true. But this particular ship actually has plenty of thrust capability, so I'm not terribly worried about it. All right, so I hit something. I have no idea what it was. Okay, so I am on the port side of the ship. I didn't even realize I put that in. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a cloaking device. I didn't realize that was there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pull that out just because so yeah, we're not going to do that. Great idea, but no. Those are transport inhibitors over there and batteries. Is this battery up here? Battery, yes, it looks like. So we have battery, and battery. And then a transport inhibitor, I think, is here. Which this guy? Transport jammer. So we're going to go ahead and put that in to mirror what was on the other side. And then we're going to armor, 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 armor. Slope. Slope, slope. And then I think, yeah, just generic there. Okay, so block and block. Okay, so yeah, remove the cloaking device. Yeah, I'm not real keen on that being there. I didn't even realize that was there. Nice to have, I guess, but all right. Okay, so this connects, so straight through, as you can see here, connects, unless that is on the bottom. We'll go ahead and look. No, straight through. So here's what I'm pondering. G. So EZO has a really neat upgrade cube. And I'm trying to decide whether I want to use it or not. So maybe, okay, speed module and assembler. So one of the things that I wanted to accomplish here was to add a bit more capability as far as assemblies go. It's not really difficult to add in a fully upgraded assembler. So that's really what I wanted to do here. Now, my thought was these are only 2 blocks long, so I have as you can see, a quad block space here that potentially I could put in 2 assemblers. Now, what's the advantage to assemblers? Assemblers have what's called a cooperative mode, but there's a catch. You have to run assemblers end to end. You cannot stack them sideways, you cannot stack them upside down, inside out. You have to stack them end to end for them to work cooperatively. That's to say, kind of hard to see here, but you see there's those ports on the sides. Okay, and what I mean by the ends is you literally have to stack them end to end. So let me go ahead and demonstrate. Here's end to end. Okay, so these guys will work cooperatively. If I stack them like this, they will not work cooperatively. Okay, they have to be end to end to work cooperatively. I don't know why that's a distinction, but try it. Try it. Don't know why they made them that way. The only thing I can think of is that because the expansion ports are on the side, it kind of forces you to use expansion, because obviously with the end-to-end, you're not affecting the expansion modules at all, interestingly enough. Okay, so eliminate that. So what I was thinking is potentially how can I do stuff here to make this work. And what I was thinking is I could actually put a coupler in the bulkhead here because you can't see it and it's protected, which then would let me put 2 of them here. The other question is, do I need 2 of them? This is a passenger vehicle. Interstellar capable, certainly, but a passenger vehicle. That's what it was intended to do. So do I need such a complex assembly package, which would really say 2 on each side, when I don't really need that kind of capability? And I think the answer is no. I don't really need that capability. So here's what we're going to do. As we fix things, now here's the trick, is because rotation was what caused a lot of these problems before, I'm going to have to manufacture these one at a time. This is going to become a straight through, this is going to be a T, and this is going to be a straight through. So there's my straight through. The T is a number 6, and then it's going to be facing this way. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Which is a straight through here, a straight through here, locked up, and then a T here. And then we'll fix this string afterwards. Okay, now why did I do things that way? So I want to put an assembler in here, and now that I have these things here, we'll go ahead and turn my generic mirroring back on. So there's that one. This one will rotate around the other way. So that's my 2 upgrade modules. And we'll go ahead and get this thing in the center. Alright, so there's the assembler. So there's an assembler on each side now. And I'm going to go ahead and name this. This is the starboard assembler. So okay, assembler number 3, because there was always one here. This is the starboard assembler. Which makes this the port side assembler. And we're going to go ahead and put on the upgrade modules, which are the last of the 2 upgrade modules, the upper and the lower. Alright, so now we have all the upgrade modules here for this thing. Now, sorry, it's the OCD thing. So what I have to do is add on a straight here, and then just because okay, so that's a T. So now I have created a redundant path in and out, and what I want to do is just come over here and see this did reflect as I was hoping it would. There's only, in defense of the prosimian folks, there's only a couple of them that rotate incorrectly. Now, this is a change. There was a bunch that used to rotate, the T being one of them, that used to not rotate correctly. So when this was built, then the rotations were off. So this was not a problem Um, this was a problem then, not a problem now. But there are the 5, which you see in my slot 1, and the cross, I believe, still rotates strangely. Okay, so one of the things that you folks may have been following when I put all this together was the fact that this tells me there's a problem here because that connection point is not functioning either for whatever reason. It's working over here. Okay, I eliminated a refinery. So what I need to do is go ahead and put those refineries back in. Small refinery, mega mini refinery. All right. Keep in mind which is port, which is starboard. So port side. And I kind of created this little hole here, and I don't know that this is an ideal place for it. I was actually thinking it would be much better to be there, because then I would still have some redundancy. Although I'm not sure that's really true. So we'll go ahead and put it over here. All right, and this is the KM Kenti Multi, or sorry, Mega Mini refinery, and this is port. Is that really port? Yes, it was. All right. I thought it was backwards here for a second there. All right. Refinery, and this is starboard. Okay, now that all of those particular things are in, let's go ahead and do a me again. We have a bunch of batteries that we added on, so let's go ahead and do batteries. Add those into the group. There is no cargo, or sorry, don't need to have those in my toolbar. There is no cargo capability, and then off. Now, here's one of the things I wanted to do. Recharge, discharge, semi-auto off. Okay, so the reason I turn those all off as a group, so if you do semi-auto, it's going to charge up to 100%, discharge to 100%, recharge to 100% in an endless cycle. If you leave these blank, they're still auto. But what happens is that the batteries will auto charge up to 100% and then stay there. So they recharge fully and come down, but they basically reach 99%. They switch to charging again because they're not at 100% and recharge. So basically, while you have alternative power sources, your batteries will remain at 100%, which is really nice. That way you only use your batteries when you absolutely need them, and then you will have battery life. Whereas if you run semi-auto, then they will go into this discharge cycle. They will be powering everything regardless of the fact that you have reactors or whatever. And here's why I don't use semi-auto. You have scenario. You have a build. You are at 2% battery power. It is on semi-auto discharge. You walk into battle, and in the process of that battle, you're using weapons that are high power demand weapons, and so they drain your battery down to nothing. A lucky shot comes in, takes out your reactor, and then you're now down at 0.5% firing, and everything is good. You take a hit, and all of a sudden you have no power. and you're thinking, what the hell just happened? You discover, wow, I don't have a reactor, but I have batteries. The problem is my batteries are now discharged. I have no way to charge them, which means they're discharged. You have no power. So, keeping your batteries at 100%. That's why I don't use semi-auto. Has that happened to me? Nah, never. All right, back down here, we'll continue on speed module. What I do is a upgrade modules group. Put everything in there, so turn them off on the toolbar. I had a systems miscellaneous that all of my wall switches went into, so I'm going to take that off of. Okay, so we have our transport jammer. I don't know where my other transport jammer went. It may just have been one of those things that I turned off, so let's look for it. Jammer. Transport jammer, and this is the starboard side, so the transport jammer is on the starboard side. That's right. Okay, so transport jammer, this is starboard. Oops. Transport jammer radius is 50 meters. Do I want it more than that? Do I want it less than that? Go up to 500 meters, which is quite a bit. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. My question is, where did I put the shield generator? Flux coil. Transport jammer. I have no idea what those guys might have been. So I'm going to turn those off on the toolbar. I'm going to add them into the miscellaneous systems. Do I have the transport systems? Do I really want to make that a requirement? No. You know what? All right, change my mind. We're not going to put these in here. So take out both of those because I don't really want to create a situation where I absolutely have to have, you know, that particular device in there. I mean, the transport system is really cool, but this is a mobile creation. You know, it's a great mod, but I don't think it's entirely appropriate for this particular build. For the standard build, maybe. Alright, so fix that problem. Alright, and this is actually why that doesn't work. So we have this particular piece not connected to anything, I think. Okay, so we're gonna have to come through and fix some stuff down there. My question is this truly connected? So let's go ahead and that's where my problem is, right there in the center. That's not connected to anything. Okay, that's connected on back there, so I should be okay to break through here. Connected via all of that, so I should be okay. Alright, so generic, I need to figure out what was supposed to be there. So I think this is supposed to be across here. So I'm going to turn off my generic and there's my cross and 4, which will reconnect, and that turns green. Alright, peek over here. So 7, which is my cross, right? So cross and a 4, which then connects all of that, and that just went live. Good. All right. So I think we have temporarily, anyway, corrected those things there. So block. I put a bunch of batteries in here, but I don't know if that would really be necessary. Spin. Yes, I should have turned mirroring back on. Alright, so the good news is we are reconnected through. So everything up to this stuff is now working. So, having said that, we're going to make some changes. What kind of changes, you ask? Alright, we'll focus on the center for right now. So that's a straight through. That's going to be a T potentially, and that one is fine. Okay, so not sure exactly why this was here, most likely connecting into the tank. So we need T. Green. Do the same thing over here. T. Okay, so one of the issues is the Kenti tanks, which are actually very capable tanks. The problem with the Kenti tanks is they are a modified oxygen tank, so they have connectors on the ends and nowhere else. So here's what I think I will do. I'm going to put tanks top and bottom. So basically the tank will be here, connection, and here, connection. So I need a 5, which is in my number 1 slot. I have to turn this around. So there's my connection point. That goes there. Put another one here. Then we reverse this and put one here. And here. Okay, and then a T goes top and bottom. So T and T. T and T. Spin that. T and T. Okay, and so my tanks are 8s. As you can see here, this is oxygen tank, Kenti oxygen tank, Kenti hydrogen tank OP, which is what I want. So there's going to be 4 tanks here. Tank, tank, spin, and then tank and tank. And we will do the same thing over here. Tank, tank, spin, tank, and tank. And just for fun, I'm going to turn on mirroring again and see what happens. This may or may not work as planned. Huh, it did. Nice. Now, because I'm a battery fool, I'm going to put batteries here. I like batteries. Batteries are neat. And we're going to do the same thing down here. I'm actually going to cover these now, even though batteries are not armored. They can take a little bit of damage, but not much. Before they have issues, I'm actually going to put solar panels on top of these. Okay. So one of the interesting things happening here. So what I want to do is figure out how I can potentially make so I want to fill this area with hydrogen tanks. Alright, so what we have to do is figure out how to fix some of the things that happen here. So as you can see here, that one is not connected to anything. So even though this one's okay, this one has issues. So go ahead and get to a block. I'm just using this as a generic fixer. At some point I may cause a problem with these getting disconnected, and I hope that's not the case. In fact, let me go ahead and do quick save before I potentially create a disaster here. I was going to say that was a potential disaster right there, but okay, let me make sure this is actually connected to something. Yes, it's on to that guy there. So, I have to turn N off because the rotation was really what caused this. So we have thrusters up and down here, and we are using, it should be the number 9. Alright, so so that should be up and down. Now, is there a need for this much? Hello, there we go. Sorry, make you dizzy. That much interconnectivity? The answer is probably no. Okay, so I need a 5 here, which is up, down, and sideways, right? So it looks like, okay, so there's the side without the connector on it. It should be like that. Okay. Now, there's nothing in there, which means I can put it straight through, right there. Okay, I'm going to stop. Here's why I'm going to stop, because I'm doing all of the reversing by hand, which means I need to come all the way over here, get myself turned over, and build this corner as I did on the other side. So, number 9. There's that. And that one. That one. Then a 1, which is that way, and then a number 4. Okay. And I'm over here, so here's what we need. A cross, right? Simple, simple. So 7. Here's the cross. A T. T, which should have all those connected. So up and over. Okay, and so a number 7, which is my cross, which should be identical to what was there. A T, which let's go ahead and, yep. That's exactly the way that one's supposed to be. So a T to connect, T to connect. All right. Now, ultimately we need to connect into here. So, what do we need here? So, theoretically, if we put a T here, then rotate the T here, same thing, a T here, and a rotate for the T, then all we need here, okay, I'm going to change this up just a little bit because, okay, here's what I need. Alright, so there's my armored elbow. It is actually facing the correct way because I want it right there. Oops, okay, so I gotta change this up, and here's why. Let me go ahead and put that there, and we're going to change this one out. The reason we're going to change this one out, what is that there? Okay, I can't change that. So I got to change this one out. This one most likely is going to become a cross. 1, 2, 3, yes. This is going to be a cross, so 7. And because of what this one is, we're going to rotate that one up, and then that one will connect right there, which then connects on to my turret. Container, ammo, port side. I thought that's what that was. Now, what I kind of wanted to do was put a tank in here. Now, obviously, I can't do that. Because of the way this is. But I can eliminate this here. And, but let's go mirror everything that we did over here out to that point. Okay, so we put a T here. We put a cross here. We put a T here. T here. Okay, I don't think I went that far with that. Okay, then, okay. So we have an angle. So the angle is going to go there. It's going to go there. And I'm going to rotate that back because I need that here, and because there's all kinds of stuff happening there. Okay. What's going to go there? So let's go ahead and fill this space reasonably. Battery. I love batteries. I'm going to do something a little bit silly. Number 2 is a 6-way. So obviously we can't have reversing issues. Why did I put a 6-way in there? I want to put tanks in here. So, for me to put tanks in here, I need a corner. I'm going to have to turn off potentials. Okay, so there's a corner. This is already connected, so I don't have to worry about that. I need to put another one down here. Rotated the correct way, which is that, which will connect these guys as well as connect other things. So here's what I need to do. Okay, we'll start out with 6, and the reason I'm going to start out with 6, I need to, okay, this one is already connected in, so I'm good there. So this is just going to be for the tanks. Okay, which is that. Rotate one more, which is that. And then we need a number 9 here, which will be this. Okay, which should be a fully integrated piece. Then we go back over to number 2 and number 8, which is my hydrogen tanks, and then we put, 6 tanks. Okay, over to this side. So we have the 6 there. We are wanting to put, okay, this is number 9, which is like this, 8, oops, 8, okay, which is there, 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 and there. 2, 8 are my tanks, and 6. All right, done. All connected. Okay, so currently we should be mirrored side to side, which we are. All right. We are at just a hair under an hour, so I think what we will do, because I still have some generic planning to do, I really want more tanks. Now, I know that sounds kind of silly, wanting all these tanks. Do I need to put anything else in here? And I think the answer is no. So let me go ahead and do 8. So generic tanks, and we're going to put those all the way across. It's all connected like this, which is a lot of tanks. When I called these OP, that was a total no-shitter. These are 10 times, so in a 1x1x2 is 10 times the size of a 3x3x3. Okay, so just to give you any idea of how totally overkill I go when I go off the deep end for OP. Okay, turn my N back on, which is a battery, and we'll do the same thing below. Okay, so the good news is as you can see, those 4 are lit, these 4 are lit, and all of those are lit. Okay, so we have made progress. These are still dead because they're disconnected. So we are looking pretty good. And guess what's gonna go right there? You got it? Battery. Okay, and I think I can actually do a battery right there. Nope, we're gonna leave that off because I see some red down there. Alright, so we are making progress slowly. Now what I do over here, I may actually put another bank of 9 out here, maybe, don't know yet, maybe, and see what happens. So with that, this is Kenty Tiger signing off, and we will see you next time.